Hello everyone, how's it going? Now, I wanted to talk about just right OCD and chasing that just right feeling and how very common this is and links into a lot of OCD suffering. It certainly drives a lot of the suffering that I see as an OCD coach. Now, if you are interested in our one-to-one services, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com and you can get in touch with one of the coaches here and we can book you in as soon as we possibly can. So just right OCD is very common because what people tend to do is that they want to bathe in the sensation of just right. And the problem that you've got is that it can't be sustained. You can't just feel just right and then cling on to that and that's how you feel for the rest of your life. It doesn't work like that because emotions are constantly changing. They're constantly moving because we go through different things in our lives, in our daily life, that can affect how we feel and can just affect what we're doing. For example, let's say today you wake up this morning and say, today I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel calm and happy and I'm going to smile from ear to ear like that with a beaming smile, right? And you leave your front door and a bird comes on, shits on your head. Then what happens, right? Oh, suddenly that beaming smile is now replaced with frustration, annoyance, anger. Why did that happen to me, right? So an external factor there has just completely replaced and extinguished your happy feeling, your calm feeling, right? So to try and to cling on to a just right feeling of how you should feel becomes a problem. It becomes a never-ending chase. It becomes a never-ending hamster wheel. And the problem that you've got is that feelings are constantly fluctuating, that they're moving targets. It's like if you try and chase happiness, there's also a problem because that's a moving target. And so is the just right feeling because you can't just reach out and grab it. You can't just go, oh, right, now I feel just right. Let's hold on to this just right feeling. Let's hold on to it because it just seeps through your fingers, right? It slips through because the problem is that things will affect how you feel, right? And plus, with a doubting disorder, it's gonna move because anything that you don't want to feel, OCD can mimic, and anything that you do want to feel, OCD will numb. It will nullify. It will take that away. And you often see that with our OCD, where somebody is wanting to feel in love and romantic and affectionate and intimate and all the lovey-dovey feelings that people want. But then OCD numbs that. It completely nullifies those feelings, and even worse at times, it can heighten the feelings of disgust towards your partner, where you feel like you want to leave immediately and get out of there as soon as you can. And that's what it will do. And this is the problem of being dictated by emotions, because when we act on emotions, we then act very impulsively, which is also becomes very compulsive, because then we make a decision based on how we feel in that moment. And let's be very, very honest here, that's never really a good decision, is it? I'd imagine 99 times out of 100, making a decision based on the impulsive heat of the moment, fueled by emotion, driven by how you feel, probably isn't going to be the wisest of decisions. And it most likely will just lead to you chasing a feeling and then being dictated by that emotion, which doesn't bode well with OCD recovery, because OCD recovery isn't where you're just swaying left or right based on emotion, right? You'll be willing to feel anything. You're allowing to feel anything. You're not fighting anymore. There's no resistance anymore. I often tell people to drop the weapons, surrender. Drop the weapons. Stop battling with OCD. Stop pushing a feeling. Stop chasing a feeling. You don't need to feel anything, but the problem is the intensity and the amplification of emotions that OCD comes in with can make it feel totally natural for us to fight and get rid and resist. But whatever you will resist will persist. If you're resisting a certain emotion, then I'm sorry to break the news to you, but that emotion will then persist. It will hang around, it will linger, it will cling in there, it will dig its heels right in there and gnaw its teeth right in where you can't quite escape. And that's what it will do. So just be very wary when you're chasing the just right feeling, because I often see it where maybe you have, let's say, sensory motor OCD, and the sensation that OCD is fixated on is driving you nuts, and you're thinking, why do I keep noticing this sensation? It's so uncomfortable. It's just, I hate it so much, and it's ruining my life, and it's ruining the moment, and I need to just get rid of it. I need to get rid and get rid and get rid. So what people can tend to do is then they try and diffuse that uncomfortable sensation. They try and neutralize it, and they try and like extinguish it like it's a fire. They try and put the fire out. They try to extinguish it by thinking of something neutral, or by focusing on a body part, for example, which then neutralizes that sensory motor sensation. So they then try and neutralize it by thinking about something else. So they're trying to occupy the mind. They're trying to distract the mind by thinking of something else to get rid of that feeling that they don't want. But that's terribly compulsive, because where does that end? As soon as you feel an uncomfortable emotion, you can't just think of something else, because that doesn't last. It cannot be sustained doing that, because otherwise you're going to go through your whole life trying to neutralize and diffuse feelings and thoughts and emotions, and we can't do that, because there'll be times where we do just feel down. There'll be times where you are just going to feel anxious and panicked and all the guilt and shame, and learning to wear those emotions, learning to bring those uncomfortable sensations along for the ride, and not needing to fight, not needing to get rid, not needing to diffuse, not needing to neutralize, not needing to extinguish. We have to drop those weapons and surrender and put the hands up and say, okay, I'm going to feel anything, and I am willing to feel anything on this journey. So please stop chasing the just right. You're being scammed. It's an illusion. The con artist that is OCD is conning you once again. You cannot maintain the just right feeling. You have to get very used to feeling just wrong. We have to get very comfortable being uncomfortable. And that used to baffle me, that saying. I used to think, how the fuck can one become comfortable being uncomfortable? What? What does that even mean? And I sort of think, oh, hang on a moment. I need to change my relationship with the thoughts, with the sensations, with the anxiety, with the symptoms that I strongly dislike. I have to change my relationship with them, because the problem is that when we feel an emotion that we dislike, naturally we fight, don't we? Because normally people would say that if you don't like a feeling, you get rid. Think of something that makes you happy. Think of something that makes you content. Distract yourself. But the problem is, when you're dealing with such an intense mental health disorder such as OCD, you'll be distracting yourself all day long. And that's not sustainable. You can't do that, because OCD will cut through that, I'm afraid, and it will cling in there. And then when I was stuck with OCD, especially chasing the just right feeling, I could never win. I was fighting a losing battle, because when I felt good, I then tried to cling on, and I almost tried to bathe in that feeling where, right, okay, I can just relax now. I'm feeling just right. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling relatively relaxed. I'm feeling like I have mental clarity. I'm feeling that I have energy. I'm feeling enthusiastic. I'm feeling passionate about life. I'm feeling okay. And you're talking a space of minutes, an hour if I was lucky. OCD, boom, cut through that. What about this? What about that? What about this thing 5 years ago? What about this sensation that you can't get to budge? What about this thought? What about this intrusive urge? What about this feeling? What about this symptom? Oh, it was endless. It was endless. It was draining. It was tiring. It was exhausting. And the problem is that I would try and I'd feel a certain way, and I'd completely bolt down, going, nope, I'm going to cling on to this. And then that would obviously cause that internalized, locked up, tense state where I'm like, no, I need to feel good. Fuck, got my holiday coming up. Shit, I've got my big day at work coming up. Fuck. And then that was it. OCD would just cut through that very quickly, and off I'd go, feeling shit again, trying to chase. So be careful of chasing the just right. We have to get used to feeling just wrong and changing our beliefs and our perspectives around feeling just wrong. Let me just drink my caramel latte, because this makes me feel just right, and I'm going to bathe in this just right feeling of drinking caramel lattes. So yes, We have to get used to feeling just wrong. And it's so, so important. And the beliefs that you're holding here is that a lot of it is low frustration tolerance. A lot of it is that feeling just wrong is unbearable. I cannot cope. I cannot stand it. I cannot handle feeling just wrong, and I need to get rid of this feeling immediately. Gone. I can't have it. Go away. Fuck off, just wrong feeling. I don't want you here. But the problem is that belief, those beliefs intensify the just wrong feeling. And they actually solidify and cement the fear, right? If you have a fear of feeling just wrong, and whenever you feel just wrong, you have such irrational, rigid beliefs around it, it's going to feel 10 times worse, isn't it? If you're demanding that you must not feel just wrong, then when you do feel just wrong, you're going to be so angry that you feel just wrong and so anxious that you're going to feel just wrong, it's then going to bring on that just wrong feeling even more. If you're holding beliefs such as, I can't stand this feeling, it's awful feeling this way, it's terrible, it's horrible, the worst thing feeling this just wrong, I need to feel just right, then you're going to be on that endless hamster wheel, chasing your tail-like state where you're just going round and round and round. You're trying to reach out and grab the just right feeling. But as soon as you reach out and grab for it, you're like, there it is, it's within touch and distance, then OCD just takes it away at the last possible instance, the last possible moment. And you think, fuck, I nearly had you just right, I nearly had you. But OCD's moved the goalpost once again. The just right feeling is just nestling snug out of your reach, and you can't quite reach out and grab. It's just out of your touch and distance, just out of reach. And that will be a lifetime of that. It will be, because recovery now isn't like I'm just bathing in the just right feeling. Nonsense, that's not true at all. I have a baseline state of peace. I'm feeling very calm. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. I am. I'm very plugged into life. I'm very energized. I'm very happy. I'm very content, for sure. But like the example I used at the start of this video, if I walk out into the street and a bird shits on my head, I'm not at the baseline happiness, dancing in this blissful state, doing somersaults down the street because I'm so happy. No, I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, a bird's just shot on my head. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. I'm disappointed at that bird. I'm thinking, oh, how do I wipe this shit off my face? Right? I'm not smiling from ear to ear. If somebody, let's say I'm stuck in traffic, I'm not stuck in traffic going, doesn't matter because I'm in the just right feeling, smiling ear to ear. No, it doesn't run like that. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed because I'm a human being that will feel emotions. There's no unhealthy negative emotions. I've worked on them very much so. But I'm a human being and not a robot, so I will feel annoyed at times. I will feel pissed off at times. Like when my football team concede in the last minute once again, I will be pissed off at times, right? When, for example, it's always raining and I just want to go for a nice walk in the sun, I'd be annoyed that it's raining once again. But there's no suffering behind that. There's no dysfunctional, debilitating, crippling anxiety behind that. It's just that healthy emotions of annoyance and regret and remorse and frustration, right? Because I'm a human being that will feel these things. So, I mean, I used to have just right feeling with clothing items. You know, I remember wearing a pair of shoes, and I remember it was a nightmare going like clothes shopping because, you know, if I was like, oh, I need a pair of shoes. So what would happen was that I'd think, yeah, these are right. And then I'd stand up in them. I'd be walking around the shop. Just wrong. Something ain't right here. Something ain't right. So I go, no, I won't have those pair of shoes. I'll have these pair of shoes. And I go to buy them and think, hang on a minute, something ain't right here. But the problem was that was the hamster wheel, because I'm chasing the just right, and it never could be obtained. I could never achieve that just right feeling because it kept moving it. Same with like emotions. If I went, oh, I've got to feel perfect. I've got to be at this sporting event or this music event, and I've got to be smiling from ear to ear. I've got to be on this vacation. I've got to be on this family event, I've got to be at this wedding, and I've got to be super smiley and super happy and super blissful and super undisturbed. Nonsense. I'm afraid you're probably going to feel just wrong because your OCD knows that you're scared of feeling just wrong. So it's then going to heighten it, it's going to increase it, and it's going to spike it to a point where you feel very wrong, right? Where you feel very uncomfortable, where you feel very unpleasant. Okay, so it's understanding the ins and outs of it. And the compulsions that you got is the chase, the internal forcing of a feeling, the internal chase of a feeling, the internal searching of a feeling, the avoidance of anything that may bring on the just wrong. But really look out for, it links into magical thinking as well, really looking out for the behaviors and the habits that you do just to prolong that just right feeling, and see it as a scam, see it as OCD mocking you, because you'll be doing these compulsions which are ultimately fueling the cycle, but you're doing them because you feel like you get the just right feeling. Now, even if you get it very temporarily, it is incredibly temporarily, to a point where it's not even there. When I used to do just right compulsions to a point where I'd feel just right, you're talking seconds at times, seconds, minutes. But I knew I was in trouble when I was doing the compulsions. I wasn't even getting relief. I wasn't even getting the just right feeling. And I knew I was bang in trouble when that was happening. I knew that I wasn't getting, the only way was making a change there. The only way was getting used to the just wrong and changing my perspectives and my relationship with the just wrong feeling. Because otherwise I'd still be on that never-ending hamster wheel now, which is a futile pursuit, and it can never be sustained. So it's always important to remember that. So please see the compulsions as you're being scammed. Please look at the beliefs behind why you're doing the compulsions, why you're performing the compulsions. Why do you feel so compelled to chase the just right? How are you viewing the just wrong? What's your relationship like with the just wrong feeling? It's not as simple as just stop compulsions. You've got to look at the beliefs behind it, the perspectives behind it, the irrationality behind it, behind that internal chase, behind that internal search. Because many people would just stop compulsions if they could, but the trouble is the beliefs as well, the beliefs fueling it. It's that I need to feel just right, I must feel just right, I ought to feel just right, I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't feel like this forever. And if I feel like this forever, my life's over, it's awful, the worst thing ever. I can't stand it, my life's ruined, what's the point? Why me, why me, why me? This is so unfair. With those kind of beliefs that I just reeled off just then, you're going to continue to do compulsions, aren't you? You're going to continue to chase and chase and chase and chase for a lifetime. That futile pursuit, that never-ending chase for just right and certainty and comfort and control, which I'm afraid to break the news to you, can never be sustained. And even if you manage to hold on to the just right feeling for 10 minutes, it gradually slips through your fingers. And then off you go, chasing after it again, running after it, marching after it, needing it, demanding it. I need the just right feeling. No. Life is full of adversity. Life is full of hassle. Life is full of suffering. It's full of struggle. It's full of discomfort, and it's full of pain. And it's not full of just right. Of course, there's pleasure involved. Of course, there's satisfaction and contentment and happiness. Of course, we strive for those emotions. Of course we do. But we have to do things that enable us to feel that way. We can't just expect to feel just right and bathe in that feeling and sunbathing in the just right. I often say that on calls. I say, you need to stop sunbathing in the just right, because that sun soon goes behind the clouds and then you're chasing it again. So please stop searching for it. It cannot be sustained, and it will be a lifetime of chase. And that is not what we want to do. So, hope you found this video helpful. If you are dealing with just right OCD, or any chasing a feeling, a just right feeling, feeling good, feeling that sensation that you want, just be very careful of that, because you can never be sustained, but you're not alone, okay? And there's much hope, and you really can get through that. If you're needing help to break that down and finding ways over that and ultimately recovering from that, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com. My name is Sam. I'm an OCD coach here. We have Rob, Nick, Momin, Elliot and Gemma all doing coaching calls, and we can all help you with this OCD fear and the just right feeling in general, and going towards the just wrong feeling and no longer running away from that feeling, no longer trying to escape and get rid, because that is the never-ending hamster wheel. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please do so, and we will speak again. Bye-bye.